Good morning. The last class we learned the importance of helping others to lessen their burdens. Today we are going to begin a new unit. It's about harmonious living. How people need to live harmoniously with love and kindness towards others. How we should respect others' ideas or their wishes. It is a poem written by Robert Frost. He is an American poet, one who writes poems. What is the name? Robert Frost. Okay. The name of the poem is Mending Wall. Do you know what a wall is? A wall. All of you must be familiar with what is a wall. We have seen walls outside our homes. Inside our homes we have walls separating rooms. Here he says how the poet and his neighbor goes during spring season to mend the wall between the two properties. One property is the poet's or the person who is speaking, and the other is his neighbors. Okay. Let us see what he saying. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends a frozen ground swell under it and spills the upper boulders in the sun and makes gaps even two can pass abreast. So the poet says, something is there that does not like a wall between two persons or people. Because the poet says something brings down the wall. Is it the, in winter season, not here in India, we don't have winter too unbearable. We don't have very unbearable winters. But outside India, in western countries like America and England, they have snowfall during winter season. So at that time the ground freezes over. The ground becomes very hard and frozen. At that time what happens? The ground underneath the wall, it swells up, and the stones that is used to make the wall, the stones, it falls off. So the poet says the boulders with which the walls are made of falls off during winter season. The poet says, is it the work of hunters? The hunters will make the dogs chase the rabbits. So when these rabbits hide in the stones in the wall, the dogs chase the rabbits. Thus the rocks might fall down. So it could be the work of hunters also. The poet says he has seen hunters who make the dogs chase after the rabbits. So the stones might fall off because of the cold, freezing ground. When the ground swells up in the cold, or when the rabbits hide inside the wall and dogs chase it, the stones might fall off and make big gaps where two people can walk abreast. One person like this. Two people abreast, there shoulder to shoulder, they can walk through the gaps between in the walls, between the stones. So no one has seen them made, how these gaps happen in the walls. But when the poet and the neighbor comes to repair the wall, the gaps will be there. Understood? But at spring mending time, we find them there. I let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and on a day we meet to walk the line and set the wall between us once again. So the poet says, I let my neighbor know, or they set a day or and time to meet. For what are they meeting? To repair the wall. So like that, during spring season, the poet and the neighbor needs to mend the wall. We keep a wall between us as we go. The poet will be on this side of the wall and the neighbor will be on the other side of the wall. Suppose this is the wall, the neighbor will be here and poet will be here. They will walk in a line along the wall, picking stones and keeping it one on top of the other and repairing the wall. To each boulders that have fallen to each, and some are loaves and some so nearly balls, we have to use a spell to make them balance. Stay where you are until our backs are turned. We wear our fingers rough with handling them. So the poet is saying, we walk in a line, keeping the boulder which has fallen to each other's side. The poet picks the stones from his side and keeps it on top. The neighbor picks stones that have fallen from his side and keep it on the wall. Some stones are shaped like loaves, like a bread loaf. Some are like balls, the shape of the stones. we have to use a spell to make them balance, because they have not cemented the wall. The wall is made up of just stones. They pick a stone, balance it one on top of the other. The poet says you have to use a spell, that is a magic, because for sure the stone will fall once they turn their back on the wall. Their fingers, their hands become rough because of handling the stones for a long time. Or just another kind of outdoor game, one on a side. It comes to a little more. There where it is, we do not need the wall. He is all pine, and I am apple orchard. My apple trees will never get across and eat the cones under his pines. I tell him. He only says, good fences make good neighbors. So the poet is saying, it's a work that we are doing, or it must be just a game. But it is something more than a game. Why does he say that? The poet thinks, what is the use of a wall between our properties? Why do we even need a wall? So, he is not only talking about the physical wall there, but also about the wall people build in each other's mind, in each one's mind. See, if you do not like a person, for example, a student sitting near you, you see him, you don't like his clothes, or maybe you just don't like him. So what do? In your mind, you build a wall against him. Is that right? Is it a good thing? No. People will be different. They will have different opinions. But it is not a reason to not like them. Okay. That person might also think same about you. Is it right? So, here the poet asks himself, why do we need a wall? Because there is no use of a wall. Why? The poet's property is full of trees. What kind of trees? Apple trees. You see, I am apple and he is pine. You know, pine tree. You know what is a pine tree? You know, trees shaped like this in cold climates. There will be green trees. They will be shaped like this in a cold shape. They are called pine trees. The fruits are not edible. The fruits are called cone, pine cone. So, you cannot eat it. So, the poet is saying, my apple trees will not walk onto his property and eat the cones. It is not edible even. So, there is no need of a wall. So, the poet says to his neighbor, why do we need a wall? Is there any reason for a wall? But the neighbor says, good fences make good neighbors. You know who your neighbor is? The person staying near your house is known as, it's called a neighbor. Right? Your neighbor. Poet tells his neighbor, we don't need a wall. But does the neighbor agree with the opinion? No. He says, good fences make good neighbors. Yes, we need to give our neighbors their privacy. That's okay. But we don't need a big wall for that. Okay. Next. Spring is the mischief in me, and I wonder if I could put a notion in his head. Why do they make good neighbors? Isn't it where there are cows? But here there are no cows. Before I built a wall, I'd ask to know what I was walling in or walling out, and to whom I was like to give offense. So the poet is saying, the poet says, during spring season, I feel like making a joke. He asked the neighbor, why do we need a wall? There are no cows. The cows can wander across to your neighbor's property. It is true. But here there are no cows. Poet says, I need to know what we are protecting inside a wall, or what we are keeping outside the wall. What we need to prevent from entering our property. We should always think, why do we need to stop someone or prevent someone making contact with us? Then he goes on to say, something there is that doesn't love a wall, that wants it down. I could say else to him, but it's not else exactly, and I'd rather he said it for himself. I see him there, bringing a stone grasped firmly by the top. In each hand, like an old stone savage arm. He moves in darkness, as it seems to me, not of woods only and the shade of trees. So the poet says, something there is that does not love a wall. Could it be the work of elves? No, it cannot be else. It will be something else. It will be in nature itself that does not like a wall. So the poet sees the neighbor bring stones, grasping them like this, grasping the stones like this and walking towards the wall. The poet feels he looks like men of olden times, when men were not civilized, okay, like animals. Something is there that is very dark about that person who's walking, holding the stone in his hand. He will not go behind his father's saying, and he likes having thought of it so well. He says again, good fences make good neighbors. So the poet goes on to say, when the neighbor comes closer to the wall, bringing stones grasped in his hand. He says after, it seems as though he has thought for a long while. And he says, good fences make good neighbors. So, the neighbor will not change. See, all of us need to change with the times. In olden times, did we use computers? Did we have internet? No. So, are we sitting there like, no, I won't use the computer? No, we have to use it. Now, we have to use the computer, phone to even study. So, we should change according to the times. And also, we should not build mental walls against other people. It's not right. The neighbor, after thinking for a long time, repeats. He says again and again. He goes on repeating one sentence. What is it? Good fences make good neighbors. He will not change. So, what did you understand from this poem? That we should not build walls without any reason. Okay. The poet speaks about cows walking over to the other person's property. So if there is any danger or any need, okay, you can build a wall. He's not speaking about the physical wall, he's speaking about the mental wall also. This, you should show kindness. You should be tolerant of other person's views. You should not think like, no, I will not change. No, I have to be like this. No, you should be flexible. Okay. Be somewhat flexible. That's true. So, you will have friends, they will have different ideas, or they might like different things in life. Still, you need to help them, show them kindness. Not build walls, mental walls against people. That's the importance of this poem. Okay. Hope you all understood the poem. Read the poem. Okay. We'll see in the next class. Thank you.